Okay, hello. Oh my God. This is the new view. This is how we're doing it. Let's see what sign we're doing next. My name is Ashley Dawn. It's Sunday morning, actually. So happy Sunday. We've already done Libra. You could consider this the May general read, the mid-May general read. We've already done Sag as well. Libra and Sag. Okay, so now we're going to do Gemini, looks like. Please check the description box for everything that you need to know. We're going to start you off with the magnetic poetry. This is a new view, Gemini, just so that you have the ability to kind of see all the cards instead of my face, because it's just a little bit easier for me to not put off doing videos. Started off a little tongue-tied there. I wonder why. We've got some things that have spilled out, obviously you can see. Might be having a hard time articulating something. Okay. I think that's sufficient. Okay, so get out a pen and a piece of paper so that you can write these down. Sagittarius, I think. Sagittarius? I think Sagittarius got balance. Somebody might be saying yes. Okay. It almost seems like it's kind of like in a broken English type of sentence as it is, doesn't it? But I hope you can see this. I've kind of worked out by your sign, by reaching your sign. Seems like I've kind of worked out a little bit of a system for how to do this correctly. All right, here we go. We're going to use the Shadowscapes Tarot for you. Past, present, future reading. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. And at the end, we'll pull an oracle card or a few oracle cards out of it. And the Purple Love Dreams Oracle. Perfect. All right, and a twist for fairness. I'm trying to show you guys how that works so that you can see that the cards are not going to all be the same, like, so that it's more fair as far as reversals go, I guess you could say. So I only take clippers and jumpers, maximum of 3. So in the past, what we have for you, face down, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Guess we can start talking about it while we're flipping things out here. So we have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. This is investment of your time, energy, and effort so that you can kind of look at, in the future, mastering a craft or achieving something in terms of your creative, or rather, not, well, maybe your creative endeavors, but more than likely professional endeavors. Whatever contributes to your legacy on this earth, that which, you know, outlasts you as far as your name goes. Also the low-hanging fruit here, the low-hanging fruit. With that, we have the Knight of Wands in the upright, Sagittarian energy. So in the recent past, you could have had somebody taking passionate action towards you while you were trying to get the low-hanging fruit here, in terms of investment of your energy. Somebody coming after you, passionate action. Oftentimes in the tarot community, this is considered the fire pony. It's kind of got that big D energy. I'm trying not to swear on camera, right? But it's a little difficult. What else? somebody taking passionate action towards you, almost as if they see what you're doing. You know, I kind of get like the impression this is somebody who's like, you know, riding in, not in a helpful sense. You know, like they're coming in to cause some trouble or to knock down your tower that you're trying to build, or, you know, there's like yeah, like a mischievousness, if you will. What else do we have in the recent past? Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Casimir Pulaski Day by Sufjan Stevens. That's a song. Seven of Swords in the reverse comes with this. There's no deception that follows this action from this individual who's coming in, riding in. They're not doing this behind anybody's back. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to, you know, come in with this type of action, this nature of action, and do it silently or in a way that would be behind people's backs. It's not necessarily, this person isn't trying to be devious. This person isn't, they're not moving forward and taking this action in a sneaky way, right? Who knows? It's very out in the open, is what I just heard. It's very out in the open. The Devil in the reverse. Could be because of indulgence, that they lack the ability to kind of do that, you know, in a more obscure or... rather than obscure, less, seems like they're riding it with bravado, you know what I mean, as opposed to humility, but this isn't even about humility. It's just about this person is coming in and they're not really hiding it. They're like super upfront about it. And it's because of the indulgences that they imbibe in, or that they find themselves dipping into the excess with, that's happening. They could also be taking this action because in the recent past, they could have been taking this recent action because of a fear or obsession of some sort. Capricorn energy on there. Could also be this also is indicative of a Capricorn, Sagittarian cusper. But looking at the Devil in the reverse, if we're looking at a timing of when this might have happened, just to indicate for you, this might have happened when we were in Cancer season last year. So last year, just about a year ago, just under a year ago. What else for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in the past. Oh, that's too many. See, I can't take this many cards. It's like more than I want to. I'll only take like 3. Then it just gets to be, yeah, you're just picking up like a chunk of cards, right? Okay, so 2. They gave us the rest. So we have the World in the reverse, followed by the 8 of Swords in the reverse. So it's almost as if, it's an obsession. This person keeps looping. This tells me looping here. You see, if you can zoom in, the World card in the reverse with the Devil card in the reverse, that's looping in. That's somebody who loops when they get like upset about something. So this action, the action that they've taken here, it's almost like when they come in there, they're kind of like a record that skips, keeps going over the same part over and over and over and over. And It's almost because there's a lack of wholeness or balance. I'm just looking at, sorry, I'm just looking at this. I storm mad. Why? So balance beat garden. I storm mad. Why? So balance beat garden goddess with cool. Like, it seems like frost. Or like a rainstorm, you know, that kind of like, you know, so the balance, like something needed to come, somebody was coming in hot or running hot. I don't know. It's almost as if this looping or this thing that they're doing, like the reliving of the past or the reliving of a situation or a feeling or something like that, it's related to indulgence to the extreme. And it's also the Eight of Swords in the reverse here. With it, it's almost as if it's a way of somebody setting their mind free. Like if they get it off their chest, then eventually they come out of the loop and move forward. You know, like like eventually, it's almost like, you know, when you see those things where it's like and it finally shoots out. You know, the Eight of Swords in the reverse is somebody being able to free themselves from the merry-go-round of crazy here that we have going on. Because that's exactly what it is. Yeah. In the present for you, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If you don't know, sorry, well, I don't know why, but sometimes when I'm in this office here, I get like some killer allergies going on, and I don't know how that happens, but it has. Anyway. Okay, Three of Wands in the upright. So, presently, you're kind of surveying things still. You're kind of assessing the damages here. Assessing this guy riding in on the action. And if you even have anything left to salvage out of the energy and effort and time that you've invested in something. Maybe, potentially even the money that you've invested in something. But it's being on the precipice of moving forward yourself. The Three of Wands. It's like you're about to hit the go button. You're about to take the first step, but you're kind of, you know, sitting back and kind of evaluating things for yourself first to see what's worth growing. You know, see what's worth investing in. What else? I got some stock cards there. Okay. Two Cups in the reverse. You might be putting off any type of situations where you're having like a mano-a-mano with somebody. I feel like this is isolationist in and of itself. Like the fact that you have to take some time and sit back and survey the land for what you want your next steps to be. I kind of see here how that this is indicative of this. Like the Two of Cups in the reverse is saying, I don't even want to meet with people. That's kind of what it's articulating here. You might have shied away from an individual who is taking a passionate action towards you because you kind of seem like I'm viewing this as you. So in the past, you're kind of distracted, you know, cultivating something for yourself. And then you have this energy, this hot, fiery, you know, wanton energy coming in towards you, but you got your back turned. Do you see that? Do you notice that? So in the present, following all of that activity is a time where you're in a peaceful state of mind, just surveying everything for yourself, which is fantastic. It's actually something that, yeah, more people should do before they just go gung-ho into something, right? Gain a little bit of perspective, you know. But a part of doing that for you right now seems to be deciding that you're just not going to meet with that person for lunch. And no, you know what, I'm going to stay in tonight. I'm not really feeling going out for drinks, that kind of thing. You're being very upfront and straightforward about why. Because you got things that you're working on, and you just, you know, you're just not in the mood, but you're not being really, you're being honest about how the motives behind not meeting up with people. And I think this is more that I think this isn't just lovers. I don't think this is lovers at all. I think it's friends and family members, specifically family members and friends. Because it's like, no, you know, I'm not going to come out for Sunday dinner because this and this, but, you know, like, it just kind of seems like that kind of thing. Like the people that you would normally circle back around to and hang out with and check in with, you're too busy. And you're dedicating your time to something. You don't have the time for emotion, it seems like. What else, Gemini? In the present. Okay, Eight of Pentacles, there we go. That was what you were hoping for, yeah, because you're busy working, busy honing your craft, building a skill, bolstering your confidence in something. You don't want to be distracted by this. You don't want to be distracted by indulgence. You don't want to be distracted by fears. And you don't want to be distracted by some type of anxiety that continues to relive itself in your head at times. There could also be, like I said before, there could also be this person that you're trying to avoid and you're burying yourself in your work. You might also be finding that being productive at work is resulting in personal reward, not just monetary reward. Of course, the monetary reward's, you know, kind of important there, but I think it's more the fact that you're building yourself up and really trying to enhance some of your skill set in a way that you hadn't before. And you're not really into spending your time doing much else. There is a key warning here about burying yourself in your work and your work becoming your obsession, though. Don't become a workaholic. Workaholicism is a real thing, and actually this could indicate we're in the present. That is a reality for some Gemini individuals, is where we have this and this together like that. The devil and the Eight of Pentacles. Well, you have the devil and the lovers. It's usually unrequited love. When you have the devil and the Eight of Pentacles, it's usually workaholicism, right? And what else? Oh, shit. Sorry. Put on my full say. Present. Oh, that was good. I liked that. Nine of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, you're trying to. I think a part of this is that you're acutely aware that if you work through your anxieties, kind of put some of your habits to the side because they are distractions, and alleviate anxiety, you know, put to bed all of this like old reliving of stuff, And ignore people in your life who are like that or can be an emotional drain, but also an energetic drain to you. That in so doing, you're actually able to quell your own anxiety and some of the sleepless nights that you've been having, because it seems like you're coming out of a period where that was an issue for you, where there were problems with anxiety, sleepless nights, nightmares, even about the things that unfinished business when it comes to work, or not necessarily making the thing that you wanted to, or the amount that you wanted to, or ending up in abject poverty, or just those types of things. And so I think that you feel like if there's one thing you can control, it's your effort and the amount of time that you dedicate to honing your craft, enriching your skill set, and you're doing it. This is one of the direct rewards that's showing itself immediately for you. This is a vicious cycle for you, though. This does show where it's like you work hard to alleviate the anxiety, but nothing ever changes. It just kind of loops back and is the same. And so you indulge in the habit again of doing this. So it's kind of like, again, the merry-go-round of crazy. Workaholicism is happening here. Nothing ever changes, always stays the same. Okay, the Hanged Man in the reverse. So, remember when I was talking about back here with the Three of Wands, where you were gaining some perspective or attempting to gain some perspective in some regard? And you haven't put yourself upside down here. It's almost as if you go to a different vantage point, as opposed to putting instead of changing your angle, you just go to it, like instead of inverting yourself, you go to a different vantage point. Instead, you get above everything. Whereas here, you're coming out of, you're putting yourself back in the upright. So you're taking yourself back to a position where now you've learned something about other people's points of view and what the interplay is in between those and your own. This could be the birth of internal self-awareness versus the external self-awareness piece. Surrounding anxiety, there's a message here about that, actually. The message being about when I'm having a really hard time articulating it. That's funny. But when we gain greater insight into our own self-awareness and how it connects with the self-awareness of others, it kind of helps us. It kind of helps alleviate our anxiety in ways that we never realized before. So it's gaining a perspective here that makes that possible. I don't know why everything just kind of didn't match. It seems as if, even though there was a gaining of perspective, that there's like a lack of it's always been a sticking point for you because it didn't come packaged in some sort of like longitudinal study, intellectualized theory or idea, evidence-based type thing. It wasn't presented as an evidence-based philosophy, It's more because you've now realized that everybody else's problems, everybody else's action that they take, words that they say, moves that they make, are really more about them and not necessarily about you. And therefore, now that you've learned that, you are learning more about your own anxieties and how to master those. Thank you. Oh my God. It was so hard to, articulate there for a second. But anyway, and it's helping you to move forward because, every little ounce of alleviation of that inner stress helps you put your energy devote your energy towards better things, more worthy causes. So you get to redirect that focus into more productive places, right? Keep going. Gemini. We eventually get there. Knight of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, you're not even distracting yourself with, you might be deflecting or avoiding getting overtly emotional or poetic in your self-expression at this time. You might be keeping things to super brass tacks facts. Like this is this. Keep everything in its own lane, You might be feeling it very liberating right now not to be the rescuer, not to be the person who is consistently pandering to other people's emotional requirements, if you will. I mean, requirements isn't really the right word anyway, but it's kind of like the things that everybody wants. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be doted upon. And it kind of seems like liberating for you not to be doing that, not to be I feel like there's a lifting of a sense of obligation that you've had in the past, but it was always in your head. Like back here, you were able to master the art of thanks, maybe next time. and here I think that you're learning to do that with another emotional partner in your life, but this is an emotional partner that's more like of the romantic nature, and this is somebody that you're finally feeling like maybe they need to be their own emotional support system, and it's okay for you to kind of let up and allow them to self-soothe instead of you doing it for them. Gemini, what else? It's refreshing. It's almost like, for the longest time you've had to take an intellectual based approach at every single one of these things, learning about yourself or navigating the self and how to, self-soothe for you, right? Like, how do you self-soothe yourself? And you're doing it here by not doing it for other people, and by realizing that their problems are about them, the things that they put on you are about them, the way they make you feel like a shitty person is really about them and not about you. And it frees up, like I said, I'm looping. It frees up so many more resources for you over in here. Anyway, in the future for you, Gemini, Sun, Moon. Oh, by the way, happy birthday. Oh my goodness. We just, when I hit that record button for the first time after not doing it for a few days, I'm tongue-tied, I'm ineloquent, don't even know what I'm doing for the first few minutes, and I'm nervous. But yeah, happy birthday, Gemini. Your girl's still living in Taurus season, apparently. I did get out in the garden. And I planted pumpkins. That was good. I'm actually also, because the pumpkins literally went from like a seed to like this, because I have like indoor plants and a grow light and everything like that. Like I have a lemon tree, an avocado tree, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so my pumpkins were like this after like a week. So they went out into the garden. So I'm also considering doing butternut squash. So we'll see how that all goes. What else, Gemini? In the future for you. So that's what I'm looking to. On the subject of, you know, garden goddess and all that stuff. That's what I did this weekend. I also a spatchcocked a chicken, if you know what that is. So I roasted a chicken after cutting its spine out. Sorry, any of you vegan people out there. I just I love chicken. I love eating chicken. Anyway, let's go. So we have the Knight of Pentacles in the upright with the Eight of Wands. There's going to be some communication here. It might be recognition coming to you. In fact, recognition for your methodical, strategic, slow-moving progress towards a goal, but somebody is giving you accolades, it seems, or communicating to you about your steady forward motion that you've been taking and how deliberate it is. I think they really like how deliberate it is. Do you know? I think that's really, I think that what they're saying to you is you planned it, you set out and surveyed the land, and now you were on your journey, textbook. You know, and there's communication about it. At least for now, we see this being the communication about it. It could be somebody circling back around that once was not able to offer you something or meet with you to offer you something. I don't see this necessarily as an offer, but I do kind of see it as somebody that was of significance, a meeting of significance that had to be canceled or didn't happen. But this person is circling back around. The circling back around is significant here. It's a theme. But I feel like somebody's coming back around that's noticed that you've done this, done this, done this. You check the boxes, and now they'd like to meet with you again to discuss something of value in terms of your work. In terms of offering you a protege or a couple of students to work under you, or a promotion. You can lead the team, you know, that kind of a thing. At least that's what I'm getting right now. That might not... Oh, what's this? That might not be what... We have another two. Is that it? That might not be the whole story. Let's see what the whole story is, because now we've got it. The universe just decided to give it to us, I guess. We have the Ace of Cups. I hope this is not drifting off camera. Oh my god. I would be so annoyed. Okay, we have the Ace of Cups in the upright with the Hermit. This is somebody that you may have said, hey, you know, I'm busy. Flip that script. It's somebody that you've been too busy to see. Except it's not a friend or family member. It's somebody that you're like, you know what, I'd really love to, but right now I'm so busy with work. I'm so swamped, I really can't. It's coming back around and saying, and it's somebody who, you see this here, this is the wish. The wish. Somebody communicating that they really wish they would have, you know, came back around to have a chat with you, and they'd like to see you. It is the beginning of something very promising when it comes to an emotional connection that's a little bit deeper, but it's still in its infancy in terms of the people that you know in your life. Like, it's not somebody that you've known for years. Could be somebody that you work with. You could hit it off with somebody at work and Virgo. It's somebody who's normally very reserved and analytical. I think that's what you really like about them, is that they're analytical. And because they're analytical, it eases a lot of your anxieties. Like, it eases your mind because they think things through a lot before they move ahead with them. Somebody who knows themselves a great deal. it's somebody that you've met through your work or through mastering a trade. So if you'd went to school to, like I was saying before, enriching your skill set, if you went back to school to enrich your skill set in some regard, this could be where this connection takes place. If it's not a lover, it's a mentor. Because this is a wise sage. This is an older gentleman who's went into the cave and emerged with a new truth, right? After gaining some perspective, but it's his own perspective for himself with that lantern in that cave. This alleviates your anxiety a lot. This person actually helps. They're a calming influence for you. What else do we have here? Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Finally, for you. That's too many. Tell me what we have for you for the end of May moving into June. Okay. We have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. That's your card right there. With the Ten of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so there's a little bit of a disconnect at the same time. You know, you've certainly been doing a lot of work to try and figure some things out for yourself. But like I was warning before about the workaholicism element, you're very focused on your career. You're very focused on making something of yourself. But in the process of trying to do that, you've also lost touch with yourself in some way. You've lost touch with your impulsive nature. You don't feel so spontaneous anymore. Yeah, you find it hard to take impulsive action towards this individual. They might prefer and have hinted at the fact that they prefer people in the connections that they have, the relationships they have, whether professional, friendly, or romantic, that they prefer spontaneity. But you're not feeling connected with yourself. And it actually makes you feel like the cohesiveness of this relationship doesn't really have much of a place to go. Like it's not going to end well. Like you're not going to see a Ten of Cups with this person. Your self-awareness, though, is quite striking, I will say, if we're looking here, just in this vein right here. Your self-awareness right here is quite striking, and if we pair these all together, you know yourself quite well. You know what you're willing and not willing to do, but you know yourself quite well. You've taken a lot of time to consider who you are, what you will and will not acquiesce to. And you've done it before up here in the present. You've acquiesced. You made a realization about acquiescing to something. If I'm in my future line, in the past, but in the present, you will be making this realization about where you've acquiesced to somebody else, or where you haven't necessarily acquiesced where you should have. Or providing somebody with that emotional, just being an emotional crutch for somebody for so long. But now you've got a good handle on who you are. And you kind of know right away that this won't be going to a romantic space with this individual. You know that it's a colleague friendship, that it's about work, or it's just about having that ally who's there and understands something better. But you know pretty quickly that it's not going to a romantic space. Just look at those both in the reverse after these. Anyway, let's see signs and synchronicities for you for mid-May through to June. Using the Purple Love Dreams Oracle by Leros Derev out of New York. I got these during the pandemic, and I've been kind of going through my Oracle decks. I don't have an extensive collection of Oracle decks, but I do have a great deal of Oracle decks that I very rarely use. So I thought it'd be probably a good idea to start using them. Signs and symbols. What can Gemini expect to see that helps them know that they are on the right track during the rest of May? We'll take 3. Give us 3. Okay, we've got 1. Okay, we got 2. Yeah, it's funny. Love potion. I just put it there and I didn't even realize it's right on top of the devil. And it's in the reverse. Watch the drinking. Somebody drinking a lot. What else? Like, you know how what they say about gin, right? Well, it's like the inverse of that. Like, whiskey dick or whatever you want to call it. Engagement, okay. An engagement. Somebody wants an engagement to happen. You're going to hear about an engagement. Yeah, you're going to hear about an engagement potentially. Somebody that you thought you had unfinished business with. I don't normally read the cards in conjunction with those, but just happened to be something that felt right. You might encounter somebody that is like really, really, really drunk. And it might be really like off-putting. Then we have, again, the engagement here. You might see somebody get engaged. You might be looking at engagement rings yourself. But I think it's the symbolism of the engagement ring. So you ever see the emoji for the engagement ring where it's like, oh, you know. With this, we also have reassurance in the reverse. So it could be the symbolism of two people ignoring each other, you know, with their backs turned to each other, not putting somebody's mind at ease. Okay. Alrighty, so that's what I have for you, Gemini. Do this. If you think it made any sense, and subscribe, of course, it always helps.